Hello everyone, welcome back to the Spirit House. I'm doing something fun for Halloween this year, or Samhain, for all my witch friends. We're doing a mermaid skeleton. So we're starting with a good old plastic skeleton that I found at a local department store. And we're going to transform him into a skeleton. We're going to need some scissors, some measuring tape, and some other items like some shimmering tights. These are a scale print. I cut them kind of apart. I think they'll make a perfect mermaid tail for our skeleton. You can use any shimmery fabric that you like. This is stretchy. These were, like I said, tights that I'm reusing for this project. And we're also going to need some patterns that I cut out of paper here. If you know anything about sewing, you're going to measure it down the center as long as you would like, and then I measure the feet area and double it. It's just about 3 inches in the top, which came to about 6 inches here. And we're going to take in the corners. When you cut the fabric, of course, you're going to want to flip it inside out and sew, and this should fit perfectly. And of course, the tail, I cut out this template. It should fit nicely in. Like I said, you cut out 2 pieces, turn them inside out, seam them, flip them back outside, and then we have our mermaid tail. And we're also going to need a wig. So here's my pattern for the wig. Should fit over pretty well. And we're going to sew it across the top of the seam for the wig. Of course, I have a wig here that I found at the thrift store. Of course, we place the pattern, and you're going to want to center this where the tracks are on the outer edges, where the lace is, and then cut along there so they're not fraying. And that's what we'll need to get started. And some shells, which I found walking on the beach. I'm lucky enough to live near the shore, so I found some shells that I can use. Every mermaid needs a set of shells. And once we cut all these out and get them seamed, I will come right back. And magically, here we are with our projects all done. Like I said, if we know about sewing, crafting, we cut out my fabric with the paper pattern here and seamed it. I left about a 2-inch opening there at the top to get it around the hips. And I also cut in a few darts, which makes about 1 inch here at the top, which I'm going to glue to the very bottom of the rib cage. This came out nicely. And for our structure for the tail, like I said, I cut out 2 pieces, sewed them together, flipped them inside out. And on the inside is a piece of this needlepoint mesh, which I cut along, roughly cut out. And this is on the inside, which gives it some flex. Also makes it nice and weatherproof in our wig. Cut along the edge and seamed it at the top. It's not perfect, but I think it'll work out great for our project here. And of course, our shells. And the mermaid doesn't need legs, so we're going to remove the legs carefully. Came off very easily. Over to the side. Might be able to use them in a future project. It's all prepped. So we're gonna lay our skeleton over to the side for the time being. Start on our tail. I'm gonna use hot glue for the project from here on out. Our hot glue gun, mine's about 15 years old, if not 20. I'm gonna glue the opening shut for our tail. Use a glue stick to press down. You can burn yourself very easily with hot glue, all my crafting witches. And strings everywhere, of course. Put that together. And I'm gonna try to match up the pattern a bit like wallpaper as best I can, so there's not much of a break in the pattern. Back. Got some spooky Halloween sounds in the background if you can hear. Get us into the mood. Our trusty hot glue. Again, I use the glue stick to press it down. Don't use too much. A little bit will do it. If anybody has any suggestions as to control the stringiness of hot glue, I would appreciate some suggestions in the comment section. I matched up the pattern as best I could. Looks pretty good. Having some sinus trouble this time of year, always do. Hopefully that doesn't come through too badly in my recording. Okay. A little bit more hot glue, just a little bit. Really bothers me when I put too much and it kind of spreads outside of where it's supposed to go. Happens when you use too much. Luckily, this project seems to be coming together quite nicely. And I think it looks pretty good. More strings, hot glue. Okay, now to add it onto the skeleton here. It looks pretty good. The little darts on the hips came out perfect. Okay, I'm going to start in the back. Line it up where I need it to go. Place it where you need it to make sure it's where it needs to go before you glue it. And there we go. first. You could really use any size skeleton that you like. This one is a video, so I'm doing a smaller project. Save time. I'm a little obsessed with mermaids lately, and since I live at the beach, I guess that's part of it. I think all girls have a fascination with mermaids. I'm no exception. Again, using my glue stick to make it work. Hold it down so we don't get a burn. And this one we carefully glue and glue the little opening together there. Be very careful. It's nothing worse than offsetting it with material, especially in hot glue. This project is coming together nicely. This is, of course, me being a witch. This is my favorite holiday. Of course, I love all holidays, but this one especially. This one is special because it's the witch's new year. Saying goodbye to the old. Good thoughts for the new. Working with hot glue is not my favorite thing. I really enjoy working with other adhesives like E6000 jewelry glue. Works great. If you guys have any suggestions. Now for the wig. I always start in the back. Gluing it down there so it can be adjusted in the front. Time to give this girl some hair. Every mermaid needs luxurious long hair. This is my second video, so it's exciting for me. Hope to continue. I'm always so nervous doing these videos. Now I want to make this part come through the wig so we can hang it up still, because I think this girl might wind up on part of my door decoration. So I take a needlepoint needle with a large eye. Actually, this is a safety pin. I usually use a needlepoint needle, but the safety pin tonight's work. Slide it through. You want to make sure the front of the wig falls in a good place. Yeah, I usually use a needlepoint needle for this, but using a safety pin tonight. If it comes down too far, you can always roll it under and glue it down with our trusty hot glue. I hope to, in the future, make these videos more exciting or interesting. So, practice makes perfect. There we go, down in the front. Everybody knows when it comes to wigs, it's all about how it looks in the front. Our trusty hot glue stick. Every time I'm shopping at a thrift store, I always try to buy things that can go with my crafting projects, like those shimmery tights used for the tail and the wig. I'm very thrifty. I like to reuse, recycle. A little glue over here. This wig is not exactly perfect, but it doesn't have to be. She's supposed to be the skeletal corpse of a mermaid, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I think it looks good so far. I'm very happy with it so far. I also apologize for it being a little dark. I work at night. I'm still learning. Okay. Do all my best work at night. I'm a bit of an insomniac. I'm a true night witch. Okay. This is looking so good. Now, last but not least, our shells. They don't really match, but I think that makes them look more interesting. Our little corpse mermaid. This time of year is always about celebrating who's gone, but remembering those we've lost, and to kind of have a sense of humor about death, the great journey that we will all take. Can't be too serious. Have a little sense of humor about death. Comes for us all. No one gets out of here alive. So we have to have a sense of humor. It's what this time of year is all about. Time of harvest, time of celebrating and remembering those loved ones that we've lost, our pets, our sweet fur babies. Okay, I think she is done. I love it. And my movie for this Halloween I'm going to suggest is one of my favorite movies. If anybody has some favorites, give me some suggestions. I love finding out about new horror movies, but I'm suggesting my favorite movie is The Fog, one of my favorite horror movies. John Carpenter, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, and of course, Adrienne Barbeau. She's so wonderful. Just a great movie, wonderful ambiance, not too bloody, just kind of old-fashioned ghost story. Kind of goes with my Mermaid Skeleton. Thank you guys very much for watching. See you next time. Happy sewing.